Hello everyone, I'm back with another video for you today. Today I have a very awesome, big, bad, juiced up deck, Galactus and Thanos in the same deck. I saw someone playing a deck like this on, in Conquest mode. They kind of bashed me up with some of the combos you can pull off here. So I decided, I'm going to try this out myself. Had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a pretty solid deck. A little bit difficult for me to say exactly how strong, but we'll get to talking about that shortly. But yeah, the idea here is, of course, to abuse Thanos, his energy stone, the time stone, the green stone, whatever you want to call it, to be able to ramp out cards and, of course, play things like Professor X on turn 5, well, on turn 4, in fact, catching the opponent off guard, winning a location for free, essentially. We've got Hobgoblin in there as well as another cheeky option, which you can sometimes throw into the mix. Very difficult for the opponent to play around in battle mode, both the Professor X and Hobgoblin. You know, are you going to do the Hobgoblin and lock them out of one location, or are you, going to play the Professor X in a location that's uncontested or whatever? So there's options there. Of course, we can also just slam Devil Dinosaur on turn 4 after playing the Time Stone. We've got a lot of other cheeky options, so we can do Galactus in this deck, which can be ramped out with either Wave. You can play her on turn 3 into Galactus turn 4, and then you've got things like Death to synergize with that, and of course Hobgoblin as well. Pretty good with Galactus, both after you've played the Galactus to lock the opponent's location out of, take away their spots. Alternatively, you can play the Hobgoblin on turn 5, and then you can play the Galactus on turn 6, winning that location with that 15 strength differential. So there's a couple of nice little tricks there. And of course, ramping Galactus out, it's oftentimes pretty difficult to see coming for the opponent. In a lot of spots that, you're typically thinking things like Professor X are the more common, things to watch out for. But Galactus, a bit of a different way to play around it and a little bit harder to see coming. Now, the next trick we have is Magik. So in this deck, you can play Magik. You can play the whole game out to round 7 with the Magik, but oftentimes you want to cause a real headache for the opponent by playing that Magik and then stealing some cubes from them by playing either Reality Stone on the Magik to delete that location and end the game prematurely on turn 6, or you can play Galactus on turn 6 and destroy the Magik location with the Galactus. So either of those will end the game a turn early, essentially, from the opponent's point of view, if they're not, extremely wise. And very difficult to play around. They have to decide, do they sort of output as much power as possible on turn 6, even though the game might go on for another turn, or do they commit to playing that turn 7 as more, as powerfully as they can, and risk getting Reality Stoned or whatever. So sometimes you can play the Reality Stone, with the Magik already being a thing, play Reality Stone in a different location so the opponent thinks you have no way of getting rid of the Magik, and then you can come in with Galactus, get rid of Magik, location limbo, and win the game that way. So those are some very nice little tricks you can pull with this deck. And then the rest of the deck is just, Carnage, Killmonger, both to kill the stones typically, enables your death when you're not playing Galactus. And then, you can, of course, deal with the opponent's board as well with Killmonger, and of course Shang-Chi as well, another tech card that synergizes with death and that helps against greedy decks. So that's the deck. It is very functional, kind of just fits together very well, lots of nice synergies. It's not super consistent with Thanos, you need to draw those stones early on in order to have really good odds of winning, to, go with those snaps in those sort of spots. But yeah, lots of trickery and a very surprising, powerful deck. A lot weaker when the opponent knows what they're up against and what they're facing, but you can still certainly win by making unorthodox plays and, surprising your opponent. So with that being said, I'd probably give this deck an 8 out of 10, I would say. It's not necessarily the strongest in the meta at the moment from my playing of it and feel of it, but I think it's very decent and, good fun to surprise and mess the opponent up with those tricky cards that we have. So with that being said, let's jump into some Conquest. Okay, let's get into a game and see what we can do. But the Time Stone, so I usually like holding this, of course, generally if you're playing a Thanos deck, you want to use this to ramp out a key card, you know, to get that energy. Maybe play it on turn 3, so that you can play a 5-cost card on turn 4. Another one on, you know, turn 5. We do have Altar of Death being a thing, so I'm quite tempted to just throw the Soul Stone in there and maybe pick up, you know, maybe play the Devil Dinosaur. We could also throw the Time Stone. That might be a bit much. We'd then have 8 mana, if I'm calculating things correctly. Kind of don't want to throw both of them away necessarily. I could go to 6 mana and try to get, you know, the Time Stone into the Altar of Death, or even, you know, I kind of like that idea. I think I do want to keep some stones around just to constantly, you know, to consistently ramp out. I suppose there's an argument to play the Time Stone, because then we could go with another stone plus the Dino. Now that I think about it, that might have been a bit of a better play. But yeah, whatever. We did find a Spider-Man, so that's quite nice. I think I will play that this turn rather than the Devil Dinosaur. We can go with Mind Stone in the Altar of Death. That's going to draw us the other stones, and then we can use Spider-Man to hopefully move this Angela, or whatever they play here, such that they have less power in Altar of Death, or maybe it will move in there. So this is going to mean we have 6 mana next turn, which is enough for Dino and a Time Stone. Which I think I'm gonna hold on to the Time Stone again. I think we have enough mana to do that, and I don't want to draw into one of my stones right now. Cosmo comes down, so that's going to stop our Spider-Man from moving anything, which is, you know, not the end of the world by any means. I can now play my Dinosaur. That's not going to be too vulnerable, and we can then, of course, move it across into Altar of Death. I think now we want to go with a Snap. It's very tempting to also, you know, we want to play the other stones here, of course, as well. So is it now time for Time Stone? We'll have 8 mana, which will be enough for a 6-drop and the 2 stones. I think that's a good timing to play it right now. So I'm going to go with the Snap. The ramp should be favoring our deck. It looks like the opponent's playing some kind of bounce setup. Cosmo's not super common, and you know, it might be something a little different. It could be a movement-focused deck. I've seen a lot of these. I think Lambie has made a really nice movement deck. Oh yeah, here we go. Craven. That's usually a sign that they're playing, you know, something movement-focused. So we've got to be a little careful, because the opponent can very much output a lot, you know, and even move stuff into the Altar of Death. Now, for now, well, you know, they've got the Angela in there, so that's a little bit problematic. Okay, we've got Hobgoblin. That's an option if we want to, you know, if we want to go with that. We've got the Space Stone, Reality Stone. I'd love to be able to Space Stone Altar of Death, but the Cosmo is sort of preventing that from happening. Now, we could just play cards in there to get the mana again. We could also play Magik here. I've not drawn a lot of my, you know, top end, you know, the Galactus and the Professor X. It's a little bit of a dicey situation. I think I will go with my stones, though. I don't know. I guess I could go Hobgoblin and Magik and actually try for the very cheeky Reality Stone play. I think it's a little bit weak ultimately. So let me think here. We could even use Space Stone to maybe move something out of the middle lane if we don't like how much stuff is, you know, committed in that location. So if we do something like this and just finish with Thanos, that could be a really interesting line of play. I think I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, this looks good to me. We're gonna have all the stones. We're gonna be able to move the Dinosaur and just give up that middle location, and then of course go with the Thanos. Now I'm a little afraid that the opponent might have a Shang-Chi. You know, if they have priority, that could be a problem if they go with the Shang-Chi at the end. Ooh, Legion coming down. This is the Lambie deck. This is what they typically are running. Now, unfortunately, well, this is kind of interesting because we can now play in the middle location as well. So this is going to open up some options for us. I certainly feel like moving the Dino over is a good line. You know, we're already a little ahead here. So we can move that across, and I do feel like playing maybe just the Thanos here could be good. So they're not going to have a huge amount of stuff. They're going to have a Kitty Pryde and a Vision, or Kitty Pryde, Spider-Man, and all sorts of things like that. It's honestly a little bit of a tricky one. 25's not really enough, but I'm afraid of Shang-Chi, you know, coming down. So I do want some kind of a presence in the middle. We might just move the Spider-Man only, to be honest. We might just move the Spider-Man only. They might, you know, the opponent might be figuring that they can't really get 10 strength here. That's quite difficult. And of course with the move stone, or, you know, they might assume that we're going to play power there. I just think it's really difficult for them to get enough points, and this should secure me this location without being vulnerable to Shang. So I think we're going to go for this. I'm going to go with that big Thanos play. There we go. That is Spider-Man. Okay. It's not going to be enough. Could have been a little nasty for me. We played around the Shang-Chi there nicely, though, which they typically do run, although this version has Armor Cosmo, which might be a little... I'm not sure how you fit that exactly, but okay. So, no Galactus needed this game. We just, you know, went for the full value Thanos. Pretty good with the Altar of Death location. Okay. Not too shabby. Let's see what we get from Daily Bugle. It's going to be a Legion. Okay. Man, I wish I had this card. I had it in my shop and I didn't pick it up. Annoyingly, like, I probably should have. Okay, well, we've got Wave. So one thing we can do, of course, is do the Wave into Galactus play if we do find that. Mojo World's pretty interesting. It might mean that Legion can, you know, really make this game kind of crazy. We've also got Magik, so Magik could be used to get rid of Mojo World if we're afraid of, you know, of what that means. I think I do want to play the Magik here. Mojo World is typically kind of okay for me, I want to say, but the opponent's going with a snap here. I haven't drawn any stones, so I could play this out, but I think, honestly, that a retreat is in order here. Just take the 1 cube loss in this spot, because, you know, our deck is not functioning at its highest capabilities, really, so I think it's much better to just take the one cube loss, go to the next one. We really want to draw the stones, because that allows us to cycle through and find the key power cards, you know, things like the Professor X and the Galactus. Mind Stone, really good to start with. I'll go with that here. I might honestly be tempted to go with a snap if we, you know, find that we can deploy some of the really nasty cards like Professor X and whatnot. Nidavellir, okay, I mean, we can get in there quite nicely with our stones, and then maybe Professor Exit, so I'm quite happy to see that. I'm going to go with Soul Stone, Space Stone, both in that location, I think. I don't really need the Killmonger in this matchup, so I don't need to kill everything, necessarily, so Professor X in the mid can be very strong. We'll want to go Time Stone, presumably, as well. I think I'll go with the Snap here. I like the state of things. It's going to be hard for them to deal with my Professor X, I think. Okay, they're actually snapping me back. That's a little intimidating. I guess they might want to Legion this or something. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe they're thinking Shang-Chi in this location could be strong. Both sort of valid ideas, but we're not going to be too vulnerable to that as things stand. They're playing Angela here. I like to see that. That's quite good for me. Oh, Ego comes. Okay, well that's not good for my deck, really. I mean, we might be okay. At least both snaps have gone through, so we can just play this out, see who's winning. We might have to take a 4-cube, you know, unfortunate random loss here. We unfortunately are not going to be able to Professor X middle. We might still get a good Professor X. It's going to just depend on where Ego decides to play, what Ego decides to play. He might even kill himself with Magik. You can imagine. We've got the Galactus, but, you know, I don't think it's going to work here. Normally we could go Goblin here into Galactus, which would be a very nasty line of play to take. We've got the Devil Dino. That's at least, you know, we get some power down. We might be okay because we do have, you know, just solid plays. Provided we play another 5-drop next turn, I think we're in a fairly good position. Spider-Man coming in. Okay. And a Jeff as well. Jeff as well being moved, was it? I guess. Oh, Killmonger, please, no. Oh, no, 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 no. This is not good. This is really not good. It's just going to nuke my whole board. Jesus Christ. I mean, not good. Not good. We could have had the Thanos. We could have had all sorts of things going on. We've got death. Okay, maybe? Maybe that's some kind of a saving grace. But Captain Marvel's really good for the opponent here. That's, okay, I guess it's an ego loss. Sometimes that's how it goes. Let's see what the final play is, whether it's ever winning. I mean, it can be, you know. Probably Professor X is not. No, that's never good enough. I've got to retreat here. Captain Marvel will win left. That's a real shame. We had a really decent hand for that game. I think we should have, could have, would have been winning if Ego hadn't showed up. But whatever. We'll go to the next. We've got Time Stone. We've still got this Galactus, which the opponent's not aware of, hopefully. And the Raft comes into play. I'm going to snap on that. Definitely good for me. And free retreat for the opponent, so they're going to take that. Not too big of a deal. Bit of a precarious position to be in. We've certainly lost a fair few cubes already. We're both on 5 right now. So we're not out of it, but Legion, Rickety Bridge. Interesting. I don't think I want to get rid of that necessarily because we can Professor Exit quite nicely, potentially, although Jeff is a thing. So maybe I do want to get rid of it. Interesting. I guess I will. I don't really want to play around with that with Legion. You know, some nasty things can happen, potentially. I've got the Time Stone, so that can be nice with Professor X now. I will save that for next turn, just to make sure that I can ramp into the 5-cost card. Not thinking of snapping just yet. Although the opponent's curve is slightly suboptimal, so there is some kind of consideration here. I could try to ramp into Galactus as well by holding the Time Stone, but I think that's a little too weak of a play to go for. I'm going to try instead to ramp into the Professor X, I think, here. Now, they do have Jeff, which naturally is a bit of an issue. It's certainly a little painful. I kind of do just want to go with the Professor X still. Maybe over here. Just go for the win in the right. I don't imagine they'll play a card here. They might, but I think it's less likely that they'll go here than anywhere else. Okay, Professor X down. Captain Marvel with Iron Lad is in play. We've got a Hobgoblin. I am feeling pretty good about this. We should be winning. I can't really imagine how they're going to take the Professor X location. I'll go with the snap here. I could Hobgoblin mid into Galactus to take the win. That should be a play that's pretty hard for them to deal with, although Cosmo could certainly ruin my day a little bit. I think I'm going to go Hobgoblin though. I don't imagine they'll Cosmo the left. They're actually snapping me here. That's a little scary. I'm not sure what to make of that exactly. Let's play the Hobgoblin. I hope there's no Cosmo. Okay, they've got double Captain Marvel. So, of course, now we have the decision between, you know, well, where do we play the Dino? Along with Soulstone. I'm thinking we just play them both here. Just going to stop them moving across. They're going to only have one card. I don't think their one card is ever going to be enough to, you know, be able to beat what we've got going on. I guess they could move me across with Spider-Man, but I think the Dino is going to be more than enough power regardless. I could even go with Mind Stone to draw 2 cards. That's an extra 2. But I guess the Soul Stone is probably better. So we should be in a good spot here to win, I think. There's no threat of Shang-Chi. It's just going to be Legion coming in, of course. That's their biggest play, and we are going to clean up nicely with the Dino and the Soul Stone. So Professor X kind of carrying that one. Of course, you know, being able to ramp with Time Stone is really effective. Always has been. Haven't been able to do the Galactus. I could have probably fired it off that game, although I was a little worried. Just because, you know, the threat of Cosmo on Galactus. The opponent did have that in the deck. Let's jump into another one. Having fun with this deck. Okay, let's get into another game, shall we? See what can be done. Baxter Building. Okay, we've got Power Stone. I don't think I'm going to play that out here. I could, just to have something on the board and get the Carnage going, but it's a little... doesn't feel super great for me. I'd probably rather keep this around for later to play. Get a bit of power from... ooh, Elysium. That's really good. That's really good for me. That's going to enable some of my, you know, decent plays that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to go with. Do we want to just wave here? I think it doesn't really do a lot other than prevent the opponent from playing a card. Which honestly might be worth it. Obviously we're going to give Sunspot value, but yeah, I think I'm going to go with the wave. They're going to feel good about Sunspot floating. We're going to get Scorpioned, which kind of good on my Hobgoblin. To be completely honest. Titan's also pretty good for me. Probably a snap. Not exactly sure what deck they're going to be running, but I think it should be good for me. We might find the Killmonger to kill Sunspot. We've got Hobgoblin to really shut down Baxter Building. That's really good if we can win that. We've got a very cheap Thanos to go with as well. So Hobgoblin now looks great. Just the -9. Locks out their board space. Honestly, Hobgoblin's kind of an underrated card, I feel like. Quite strong in a lot of spots. And particularly in Thanos when you can use the Time Stone to ramp it out. And particularly when you have all sorts of other threats like Galactus, Professor X. It's hard for the opponent to play around in these battle mode situations. Okay, going to be a She-Hulk. Kind of explains the Sunspot. It's fairly straightforward. The opponent having that. Okay, we've got Reality Stone. I kind of would like to get rid of Elysium, I feel like. I don't want the opponent to be able to do a million crazy things at the end. So it might be something along the lines of, you know, Reality Stone, play a big Dino, you know, maybe play the Carnage, maybe Power Stone, Carnage, Dino, something like this. Just get some good power on the board. Dino's honestly pretty small right now, because I haven't drawn my stones. Well, I've drawn a couple, but not the key ones, I suppose we could say. So we'll just get rid of Elysium, make it harder for them to play a bunch of stuff at the end and cause problems for me. This is a little awkward. Now, of course, they can move the Hobgoblin and sort of deny the Dino value, so that's not great. That being said, they have a Abomination here. Okay, so it's a high evolutionary deck. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. I'm a little far behind on points here, aren't I? Might honestly be a retreat angle. I definitely do want to try to win the Baxter Building, but there's just no way that we're doing that. If they move across here, you know, I think probably giving it up is a good play. It's the most unexpected line. I just don't really see how we're winning. You know, they can play a Hulk and win. Just play a Hulk over here, they can move across. They might find a lose condition though, to be fair. I kind of want to stay in this one. Let's see if we can win. Okay, we overcommitted here. I think that's going to be a loss, right? They're going to get a 6 swing. Oh, maybe not. No, it is. It is by far 6. Yeah, it's pretty huge. Maybe shouldn't have played that one out. I was figuring if they kept the She-Hulk, but even then, there would have to be some real nonsense for us to win. I should have definitely retreated there. That was a bit silly. I'm kind of kicking myself for that one, but you know, I'm fairly confident we have what it takes to win. You know, the other stuff here. I think I'm going to snap. I have a feeling this peak is actually better for me than it is for them. Can play Space Stone at the start here. And yeah, we'll see what we've got going on. We've got the cheap Shang-Chi as well, which is never going to be a bad thing when they've got Abomination, She-Hulk, and all this nonsense. Let's go for the ramp into Dinosaur, I guess. Seems to be quite good. Luke Cage coming in, okay. Guy very much interested in High Evolutionary. I think we can do triple Time Stone here and then Killmonger those. That seems really good. Already snapped as well, of course. Armor coming middle. That's very pleasant for me. I'm going to be able to keep, you know, going to be able to get rid of all my Time Stones. Not worry about that. We've got a lot of mana here to use. So we could go with a Wave and a Reality Stone and all kinds of stuff. But I kind of do want the Bar Sinister to move across, actually. I do kind of want that. So I don't think we have to Killmonger here. We can Killmonger next turn. I kind of suppose I do want to do it. Maybe? It's kind of interesting. I kind of want a Wave as well, such that we don't get completely wrecked by the likes of Abomination and stuff, but I mean, this does seem most mana efficient, so maybe let's do this. In fact, we can even kill the Reality Stone as well, right? Why not? Make our death even cheaper. And yeah, I think this looks good to me. Gonna be Cyclops coming down? Okay, I mean, we're very happy to see what the opponent's up to here. I think we're very much in a solid position. The Wave kind of isn't great for me, I suppose. I don't know. It kind of makes them not want to float, though, which I think is a good thing. And we've got, yeah, the Bar Sinister being mid now is really good. I think I'll just jam the Dino. That should be more than enough power to win mid. No threat of Shang-Chi. And then, of course, we can finish up with, you know, Death, Shang, whatever floats our boat. Might be a little hard to get to priority with this Dino play, but you know. Gonna play that out. We've got Shang-Chi available now as well, which is really nice. And yeah, there's just no real conceivable way that we're losing that middle location, I think, so should be a pretty clean and easy victory in this particular game. They might end up retreating if they have a clue about what's going on. I think I will go with these guys. If they want to play a big card to win the middle, then yeah, it's fine. We're going to lose a lot of Dino value here, but I'm okay with that. Death Shang, very, very powerful swing. Hard to predict as well, of course, the peak and the death. A little bit difficult to see coming. Just the power of Killmonger, Death, and Thanos. Very, very nice. Big 12 pointer. Okay, they are going to switch into the other two locations here. Going to be Abomination coming in, okay. And is that ever going to be enough? Hazmat? It's quite a lot of power, but it's not going to be good enough to win. We're going to take 4 cubes back, which I'm very happy to see. I think we're definitely favored in this matchup, although there's some tricky things like the armor, which can definitely make life difficult for me. Of course, we've got the option of getting that Galactus in and just really confusing. I want to get the Galactus down at some point here, just so that I can say that I've played it. I think I'll go Reality Stone, hold on to Time Stone, maybe go for a ramp into Galactus. That should be difficult for the opponent to see coming. If I can manage to get priority, that would be really very good for me. Although, of course, Hulk is a card that is quite, you know, quite good at contesting the Galactus location, shall we say. Okay, I'm pretty interested in the Spider-Man play. I'm also pretty interested, though, in Space Stone Carnage. I think that's just really good. Gonna go with that. I don't want to snap just yet, I don't think. Just gonna keep it open. Keep things open and fresh. You know, no time stone on turn 3, so maybe the opponent will be feeling relatively okay, relatively safe, and then we can hit them with the Spider-Man and whatnot. Hit them with the Galactus at the end. Hopefully with death to swing the tide against, you know, a Hulk or whatever. High Evolutionary, not so good anymore, I feel like, after the Hulk nerf. Certainly puts a big dent in the amount of power that deck can output. Okay, we've got Luke Cage. There's always the chance to Killmonger this Sunspot, so let's go ahead and Spider-Man. Play the Time Stone as well. Give us the option of going Galactus. We don't have to do that. It's an option though, if it makes sense to. I'm hoping they play into middle, perhaps. I kind of do want to snap here. I'm going to go for it. It's a little risky. I can't lie, it's a little risky, but we've got a lot of stones. And we've played pretty much, you know, pretty well on curve. If they want to, you know, float for a Sunspot play, which they may want to do, then we're going to completely get them with this Galactus. And I think they will probably float by the looks of things with this armor. I actually also have priority now, so the Galactus is not even, you know, preventable. We're going to have a free death, and we've got a Shang-Chi to boot. So I'm going to definitely throw that Galactus down now. Hard for the opponent to see coming, potentially. And we've got a pretty nice finisher with the free death. Stones if we want them. Should be really nice. Spider-Man helping us out a bit, you know, just freeing up that location. And they're floating, so they are going to have a pretty nice finisher. They're going to be able to play a free Hulk. Free She-Hulk, that is. Not going to be able to play a free Hulk, though, so presumably going to be 18 power, which I think we just deal with fairly easily. Now, I have to be a little bit afraid of Shang-Chi coming, I suppose. The Shang-Chi plus She-Hulk could be a threat. So I think I want to just play around that possibility. If we do, by playing Zabu's Shang, we're going to have a total of 12, which will tie with She-Hulk plus a Shang. I think that's the line I've got to take. If I had the stones, I could use those, but unfortunately, I just realized it's Hellfire Club, so I cannot do that. I think this is the play because even against the likes of, you know, She-Hulk Abomination, 18 power, we're still going to beat that, so we should be winning, or at least tying. And we'll see, we're not vulnerable to Shang. We're going to beat the Hulk. I definitely calculated that, don't worry guys. We'll take a nice clean win. Of course we could have just played the Chavez for even more power, but that risked the Shang She-Hulk line, so this way we're always tying or winning, mathematically speaking, I believe. So got a nice Galactus win there. Pretty happy with that. And now we've got stones for days, so I'm going to snap on that. That's a very, very good hand for us to play with. We can, you know, this is the dream. You get to play all your non-green stones early on. You can then use the green stone to ramp, and you're going to have all of your good stuff to finish the opponent off with. And now we're just, you know, running with our advantage to the bank. Hopefully winning. Got a Nebula from the opponent. Okay. I probably want to play Space Stone. Oh yeah, Space Stone Island, really nice. Reality Stone, I guess I'll play as well. To deny Nebula value. And perhaps we can just go Wave into Galactus. That might be a line we can take, if we have priority. Might not be the best thing to go for. We've got Triskelion coming down, okay. It's definitely kind of tempting. I could go Magik as well. Certainly the Magik line of play is kind of cute. Magical wave, that is the question. I guess I'll go... Yeah, we can't really do Galactus here, can we? So that's a bit of a pain in my ass. For sure. I guess Magik, the right location perhaps? I guess I need to Magik here because we do want to deny Nebula value. Okay. That's fine. I mean, I've used Reality Stones, so there's not really much trickery other than just jamming a Galactus, but I don't see how that's going to be a viable line here. Scorpion's a little painful. Is that a random Scorpion? It is, in fact. Super Scroll is also nasty, but I've got a free Infinite. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. I guess we just Time Stone ramp into a big unit. Whatever. To a Thanos, play Thanos plus Chavez left, maybe. Then we're going to have the Muir Island ticking up. Of course, they've got Abomination and stuff which can come for a lot of value. Don't want to play ongoings as well. That would be not ideal necessarily. Okay, I can also Killmonger my own stuff, but in this particular game, I'm not sure it makes a whole lot of sense. This might be a little hard to win the second location, in all honesty. I mean, the cards I have, the Mind Stone and Magik, are not very good. So if there's a lot of floating going on with Sunspot, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to outpower that. I need sort of a Dino maybe, or Hobgoblin to do something cheeky. Cheeky Hobgoblin play would be nice. It's a card they wouldn't be able to see coming, I don't suppose. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I've got to just go with the Chavez, but... Oh, this is rough. This is really rough. I could also go for, like, a Killmonger, but... Chavez... It's never really going to be good enough here, is it? Tricky. So I maybe have to wait for the Dino. I think I have to wait for the Dino. Wait, no, I have Thanos! I have Thanos, guys. I just realized. So we should be chilling. It's actually a win, right? We just play the stones. Don't believe they'll be able to outpower that. Despite their best efforts. I mean, maybe? I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. So we're definitely going to want to do this. And yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter too much. No need to retreat. Let's just see if we've got what it takes with the Thanos play. I mean, of course, if they just go Hulk, might be more than enough, to be honest, to win in the left. But maybe they'll think that, you know, maybe they'll forget the Thanos exists. That's kind of what I got to hope for, I think, here. Hope that they go with, I don't know, the Hazmat, Luke Cage stuff. I don't think we're winning. It's a little too much power, and yeah. Even with this Infinite, just I've not been able to do any trickery, and we kind of filled the location on the left up a bit. Oh, okay, we got him just about. 1 point. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Thanos, pretty good card. Galactus, we got a win with it. Not, you know, pretty impactful, but you sometimes, it's a bit hit or miss with the Galactus. You need priority, you can wave it out. Sometimes you get the cheeky Magik victories. But yeah, really love this deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe as always for more. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.